So let's talk about accessories for a moment. I'm making this video because after the ball, we got a lot of cron stones coming to the game. Everyone got like 20,000. Then we got hammers and everything too. So the prices are going off the charts in a lot of places. So I wanted to warn you guys, when it comes to Kharazads and debos and distos, be careful which route you go, because right now the prices of debos and even distos, distos and stuff, they went up really fast. So just a few weeks ago, you're able to get like a Tet Debo ring for like 28 on min price and stuff, so it's like pretty decent deal there, right? And then for earrings, they were always a bit more expensive, but even those were closer down to like 34 at some point. So you know, they were pretty affordable. In order to enhance the pen Kharazad, it takes about 27 to 30 bill, depending on the price of the Essence of Dawn that you're getting, for whether you're melting down a really good deal from a different accessory or something. You know, there are some variables there, so around 27 to 30 bill is a good estimate. So if you were getting a Tet Debo close to that price, that was, you know, a pretty good option to just buy and convert. Now with the prices being so high, that is not the case. I mean, like, even the necklace went up, so unless you can get it for like, you know, these cheap prices, the necklace is still, you know, doable if you put in a pre-order for something lower. So you're gonna have to be careful when you make this decision. When it comes to like a 650 gear scored player, I usually send those early mid gamers, you know, into the route of Tet distos because they were so cheap. A couple weeks ago, we're paying like 8.5 bill for each one, and that gives them a really quick power spike in order to go to Honglim and stuff. So it seemed like a good option. Telling someone at that gear score to go and invest 27 to 30 bill on average to make their own Kharazads, it feels like they're being pigeonholed into staying with the Kharazads. You know, there is the option of buying Tet Debos and converting into pen Kharazads. And there's also the option of buying pen Debos and just straight up converting into a Nav Kharazad. This is a very viable option because look at the price on the necklace. The necklace itself, you know, this is a really good deal. On average, a Nav Kharazad is like, what, 260 bill? You know, something 250, 260 bill on average. So for a lot of these, that is a viable route to go. Now, right now, prices are skyrocketing because, you know, whenever the ball comes around and a lot of free cron stones come into the game, this tends to happen. But, you know, you got to be careful which route you're going because you don't want to feel like you're caging yourself into that route. Maybe some people don't like the Kharazad route. They rather just buy their way. And that is a viable way to play. We've played that way for years. But if I tell like a 600 gear score player to go enhance their own pen Kharazad, they're going to be like, well, I already invested in it, I should keep tapping it. Maybe it might have been a better route for them to buy that Tet Debo or buy a pen Debo and convert. So that's the kind of reason why I use distos as fillers for those mid-game players, because, you know, right now the prices are skyrocketing. Everyone's just gambling and getting a quick buck. But, you know, when they are at a lower end, like below 10 bill, it's a pretty good deal to just buy them and use them for a little bit. Get to 700 gear score, then you're more mature as a player, as an end, you know, closer to the end game, you know, closer to late game, I'd say. Then you can make a better decision of, do you want to go the route of saving for a pen Debo and just buying your way into Kharazads, or do you want to tap your own, or, you know, in between? Like, it really depends on the individual, right? So telling someone to go pen Kharazad very early on, it feels like they're being locked into it, which they shouldn't feel that way. They should have the option to, you know, choose the path that's right for them. And until you get to a higher gear score, you're not going to understand if you do have the patience to wait for a 200 bill to buy a pen Debo, or if you do like enhancing the Kharazads and stuff. I mean, until you get to that point where you can generate the kind of money that you need to fund that, you really shouldn't be making those decisions. That's why I put mid-game players and, you know, newer players into the Tet distos so they can sell them again, lose a little bit of cash, but it'll get them to a decent AP point really quick. And then when they're ready to go with the Kharazads, they can see, depending on the prices, are they going to have to tap it, or are they going to have to buy Tet Debos? And if they want to play the long game and just be the most efficient possible and buy the pens and just convert those, they can do that too. So they have more information at hand and more experience at hand to make that decision for themselves. So when it comes to deciding which accessory route to go, take these into consideration because market is always fluctuating and changing. The prices are always changing. Just keep an eye on how much you're spending. You don't want to necessarily spend like 40 bill, near 40 bill on a Debo where you could have got it for much cheaper just by tapping the Kharazad, right? So yeah, just make sure you look at the data here and the history and the prices and stuff, and just make an educated decision there. If you guys like this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, and check me out at twitch.tv/impansy. Hope it helped. Hope I was able to clear up a few questions here. Peace.